Hello, in this video I'm going to show you how to build a Debian Live Linux distribution based on the Mate desktop environment. In order to achieve this task, I'm going to follow the steps documented on the script for Denos. Denos is a Git repository which actually is a bunch of shell scripts that is going to help us to do this task. There's one file that actually Denos get started is going to help us, and I'm just going to copy the link address, and in any um, Ubuntu distribution you can execute this task. I'm going to start in my home directory. I want to create a directory called Denos Mate, and within that directory I'm just going to get the file from the GitHub repository. You can see it's a very little and tiny shell script, which content is nothing but just a bunch of wget files for all the files. So what I want to do is I want to change user mod that file. I'm going to give it a shot, and basically it's going to download all the content required to achieve this installation. Once we have those files, the files are numbered sequentially on the order we have to do it. The first one is actually the prereqs, which actually execute. Very simple. The sudo command is basically going to download all the required dependencies in order to achieve this installation. I done this before, that's why it didn't require anything else. The second script is going to be the Dinos, the bootstrap actually, and that one, we look at it, start doing some of the bootstrap based on a 64-bit architecture, and start kind of building a directory. This is going to be interesting to see a configuration file, the Dinos config file. So let's take a look to that. Pretty simple. It's going to create a folder called live boot. I'm going to call it build Denos. Okay. It's going to be called Denos, and that's it. That's it. I'm going to just say fire in the hole. It's going to download a new release for a valid signature for the apt command to start building my full live Linux distribution. And this is just kind of getting the packages from the network. It depends on your network speed and your bandwidth doing all these tasks. If you have a remote location, this might take a little longer, but give some time. Eventually the app tool is going to download absolutely everything you need to build the basic system. Once you're there, you'll be able to share root directly into the distribution, and eventually the files copy for that, they're going to be already there. You can just choose which distribution you want to build for your live Linux distribution, either just regular Linux or Basic X, or you can select XFCE or Mate or KDE or Plasma or potentially GNOME. Right here I'm on the root environment, so as you can see I copy the files. In this video I'm demonstrating the Mate desktop, so I'm going to execute that file, and basically uses again the app tool to start downloading all the dependencies and everything that is needed for this distribution. You can see it just depends on your bandwidth. It just goes there, connects to the FTP side, and start downloading files, building everything you need, and ultimately completing your installation. It's going to ask us for the language, and it's also going to ask us for the root password, which you can put whatever you choose to build once this is completed. So this is just kind of a waiting. It's kind of hard to tell how much time is really going to take. It'd be kind of nice to have a local FTP site to mimic this, So this process cannot be subject to be waiting and download a bunch of libraries over and over. You can just have it in a local repository, pointing the FTP side to there, and eventually rsync with that. You have the things locally. It will build the images a lot faster. I see one of the creators on Red Hat packages from Montana Linux having something like that, doing the magic and really putting a local FTP installation repository. Smart, very clever. And but this is a Debian distribution, so something similar for Debian rsync that will speed up the process of downloading the files and getting everything ready. As we can see, we are 80 to 85% at the bottom left of the build. It's going really fast considering that it's download from the internet every single package that is required. Once you download everything, of course, you need to start unpacking and installing within your hard drive space. It's recommended that the host file have at least 20 gigs of hard drive space so you can actually build and put as many um, packages you need into your distribution. Otherwise, you can probably run out of space. I'm running this in VirtualBox in my ex Ubuntu, and that's what I'm SSH into it. That's the screen you're looking at it right now from my local machine. So everything's just running in a single laptop. And as you can see, it's installing the Mate themes, installing X fonts, X dependencies, and things that actually we're instructed to put. Here comes with the keyword layout. In this case, I want to select US keyword number one, and just want to complete finishing this part. So when I end it with a command for the root password, which eventually, as soon as typing the root password, I know that actually the script finished, and it won't really take long. This point is just generating the init RD image, and there is the Unix password, and that's it. As soon as you type your password, you come back to a shell prompt, but you're in a root environment, so you have to actually exit out of that environment, and you run the files 02. In the chroot, you would run the 03, which was the chroot mate, but right now it's time to run the 04. So we're going for 04 make squash file system, and basically it's taking all the files. They were compressed directly into one main file, which eventually is going to be our actual ISO image. This is taking some time. It's probably the most intense on the file system. It's taking all the size, all the files, all the image, and 9%. This is actually built into the uh, user's home directory slash and whatever we told them in the configuration file. So right now, as you can see, it's moving fairly quick, 20% so far. Of course, it's not a large image. It's going to be about 450 megs for a full Debian live CD with a Mate desktop, which is pretty good in my opinion for high level of compression. The last thing this day is 421. I was wrong, 421 megs. Last instruction is actually execute the command to actually build the image, and this is just even faster. So here we go, 465 megs. This is going to be the total ISO image. I want to copy the file from the local machine. Here's the folder that was mentioned, uh, build Denos mate, which actually concurrent to the configuration file, and that's what I actually put it. I want to copy the ISO image here to the machine. 5%, 50%. This is just kind of secure copy a machine from there to our machine, just 465 megs. And once we have it ready, we can actually go back here and on the virtual machine and actually tell them onto the storage that I disk. It's going to be a disk that we put on that path, and we just tell them go ahead and start it. As soon as that starts, it comes with Denos live CD. So we start the X, and just magically we have our distribution. As one of the packages that were installed, if you notice within applications and system tools, I installed LX terminal. That's because it was part of the scripts on the installation right here on the installation of the files. We can see that actually one of the packages was LX terminal. So as a screen and a screen fetch. So that means LX terminal is available, and as a part of the file installation, we have the formatted terminal, we have xterm. So xterm screen fetch is installed. The mat environment, I can do a stop. Oh, I don't have a stop, but I have the app tool, so I can install whatever I want really, or add more software. Not a problem. And everything we can see that actually it's in a very small space. That's it. It's just a very easy to get Debian with the mat environment, your own live CD, customized for your own needs. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Send some comments, some software suggestions. Stay cool and happy end of 2018. Talk to you soon, guys.